Yeah, but that was a long time ago. It didn't really matter. Seriously.
Just kick it again, you're right back on.
Hillary, Trump, which is worse? We don't know. We need your help. Kane. Tim Kaine wants to be a rapper. He's such a dope. UVA professor says KKK is the same as Black Lives Matter. I can't wait to talk about that. And Obamacare, a total, absolute disaster. That is next. Virginia citizens, American patriots, and molded Thomas Jefferson and James Madison. The Lee brothers. My name is Scott Lee.
I'm Richard Lee. Thanks for joining us this beautiful Friday afternoon. A touch of fall is in the air. It's going to be warm and sunny this weekend. But we're glad you're with us this afternoon. Be careful with your drive home, and let's have some fun.
It's like you go to the
Let's have some fun.
It's like you're fading off in the background. You're disappearing.
I was messing with Spence, trying to make him think the equipment was going up and down. And
454-1366.
You blew the whole thing. You blew it.
454-1366. Lee Brothers up and running here at 820 WNTW. You can also email us at patriots@theleebrothers.com. A Democrat has caught on. And, I don't know why people think if we would just turn things over to this far-off, removed land, these 435 elected officials and 100 senators, that our health care would get better. Who thinks this way? How did Obama convince the American people that, no, I've got this. Don't worry. Seriously, trust me. I can make costs go down because I'm a king, and you'll get better health care, and people bought it.
And it wasn't true.
Oh, of course not. It was a complete lie.
But some people are actually saying it's a great thing. It's a wonderful thing because no matter what, they're not going to admit that it was a mistake and that they voted the wrong guy in.
You know what?
They supported the wrong programs.
That's a shame.
They'll never admit to it.
Somebody should say that this guy, that they voted for him, I completely messed up. I was hoodwinked. I can't believe it came across this way. But that's what happened. Barack Obama hoodwinked, and now we're getting ready to see the full thing. Because you need to realize that 2017, this thing's fully implemented, and it's going to be a disaster. A Democrat has figured out, Minnesota governor says Obamacare is no longer affordable. When was it? The only reason it's affordable.
It was never affordable.
The only reason it was affordable is because you, and I mean those who have money that pay taxes, because you actually subsidize it. Now, on what planet does that make sense? According to Mark Dayton, he said individual plans are facing double-digit increases, and all insurers threaten to exit the market entirely in 2017. They can't do this any longer. I wonder if pre-existing conditions have anything to do with that. I mean,
don't know what I might do. Who knows?
Yeah, right.
Pre-existing conditions. I recently had someone tell me the best thing about Obamacare is Obama Bear. Anyway, back to reality. The only thing that's great about Obamacare is that it forces the insurance companies to cover pre-existing conditions. The truth of the matter is they covered them before. You just paid more money for it. In Obamacare, you pay more money for it also. It's the same thing that already existed.
Anderson Cooper, during the last debate, took on Trump on exactly that very issue.
Nothing new there.
About pre-existing conditions.
You've said you want to end Obamacare. You've said you want to end Obamacare. You've also said you want to make coverage accessible for people with pre-existing conditions. How do you force insurance companies to do that?
You don't force them. They cover pre-existing conditions, but you pay more money for it the same way as Obamacare.
We need to make something very clear.
His Royal Majesty didn't do anything for us there.
Here's the deal. Insurance that covers something that's already happened, by definition, isn't insurance. Do you realize that, people? Do you realize that? It's like an education has to happen again. Insurance is a transfer of risk. It's not go wreck your car, then call your insurance company and say, hey, I need insurance to cover the accident I just had. That doesn't work. It doesn't exist. Now, you may say you want pre-existing conditions covered, but you can't call it insurance unless you pay and have a special program for it. This is the lie that the left buys into, as if there's some sort of government magic wand.
This whole pre-existing condition thing it's kind of like His Royal Majesty Emperor Barry says, I'm going to force all restaurants to put milk in the milkshakes. and the bobbleheads go, wow, that's amazing.
Which we should
and
deserve
nobody
real milk.
raises their hand and say, it wasn't there already?
Or they say something like, don't you think we deserve real milk? I mean,
it's crazy. It was already there.
But not when I'm up in the house.
That's terrible.
Don't
ever play that one again. That is. Did you hear that? Okay, we'll play it one more time. Did you hear this accent in that?
But not when I'm up in the house.
Who said? What president has ever said that?
Well,
before him?
He struts across the rose garden and goes, I'm going up in the house.
No.
All right, so Obamacare is a disaster. We know that. But here, it came up in the debate. The question was asked by somebody in the town hall about Obamacare.
Affordable Care Act, known as Obamacare, it is not affordable.
Duh.
Premiums have gone up, deductibles have gone up, co-pays have gone up, prescriptions have gone up, and the coverage has gone down.
Great system.
What will you do to bring the costs down and make coverage better?
Hillary answers. You want to hear Hillary's first answer? Here's what Hillary said. Now, remember, Hillary created this brain.
She probably said something like, well,
Well, I think Donald was about to say he's going to solve it by repealing it and getting rid of the Affordable Care Act. And I'm going to fix it because I agree with you. Premiums have gotten too high, co-pays, deductibles, prescription drug costs.
I caused the problem, but I'm going to fix it. Trust me. I've got the brilliant idea of it in the beginning, but now I'm going to fix it.
Why doesn't anyone look at the health care program? You know, when Bill was first elected, Billy Bob Brubeck first took over the mansion there.
He's going to be back, by the way.
Hillary was given as first lady, for lack of a better term, the chores of putting together health care reform. And it was the most colossal mess you've ever seen in your life. All of the Democrats and Republicans alike said this would be catastrophic. It's almost identical to His Royal Majesty's health care plan.
You feel better
and that's
about
what she said when they voted it in. Gotcha.
Listen to Hillary's second answer, though. She goes through what's so great about Obamacare. And this is amazing to me. Now, this is a big government leftist who thinks big governments should be in the healthcare business, and it's her job to fix it. Here's all of the great advantages.
Number one, insurance companies can't deny you coverage because of a pre-existing condition.
They couldn't before.
Number two, no lifetime limits, which is a big deal if you have serious health problems. Number three, women can't be charged more than men for our health insurance, which is the way it used to be before the Affordable Care Act.
There's a reason.
Number four, if you're under 26 and your parents have a policy, you can be on that policy until the age of 26, something that didn't happen before.
Do you believe this? All these things could have easily been fixed in the private sector if you allowed competition. Every single one of them.
Exactly. People don't understand how they put borders up. Every insurance company providing hospitalization was forced to market within a certain zone. If they had taken down the walls and let them market nationally, the competition would have driven it down.
And competition would have filled these so-called voids, as she calls them.
Exactly.
All right, more on that dead ahead. We got one more answer that Hillary will play for you. And your phone calls, 454-1366. Lee Brothers, 820 WNTW.
10 minutes. That's it. 10 minutes and a black Sharpie, budget crisis solved. The Lee Brothers, problem solvers on 820 WNTW.
If you're going to have a good record, and it's supposed to be, it was the best record in the National League, and they lost in the playoffs, Washington Nationals. I mean, why even have a good record? Why walk around going, we have the best record in the MLB, and we lose in the first round of the playoffs?
Ever tell you about the Nats?
Oh, my gosh.
I'll shut up.
Some are horrible people, horrible human beings. Who cares?
It's just sick last night watching the Nationals lose. It's just, by the way, there was one inning. The seventh inning was an hour and 10 minutes long.
I had to bore you to tears.
That's when you want to put it. I mean, I love baseball, but that was
Baseball
brutal.
been very, very good to me.
All right, so Obamacare is the con that's been foisted upon mankind thanks to people like Hillary Clinton. In the debate, she went on to explain more about what she can do to make it even better.
But if we repeal it, as Donald has proposed, and start over again,
we should.
All of those benefits I just mentioned are lost to everybody.
No, they're not.
Not just people who get their health insurance on the exchange. And then we would have to start all over again.
It's called the free market.
That's also called scare tactics.
And by the way,
everybody listening,
yeah, right.
The bobbleheads are going,
oh
no.
But here's the thing.
We're going to lose all those benefits. I'm not sure which ones I have, but I'm going to lose them anyway.
Let's see. America went on we're 200 and some odd year country. And over the last 2 years or 3 years, how long Obamacare has been implemented, what did we do before that? All these people are dying on the street? No.
Pretty much.
The health care that is available to us is not the best when it's run through government.
Why doesn't government do governing things and not worry about, I don't know, the train system?
Right. Because
our insurance, things they have no business in, the car business.
Now, we've been told, though, that this government can help us.
Government can help.
That was perfect. No, seriously.
But it rarely does.
But it can.
Government can help.
If we would just embrace this idea that government can help, it would be great. You want to know how government's helping? Obamacare penalizes Americans who work full-time. This is a fact. Americans who work full-time will reduce the number of full-time workers and reward those who work less. Here's how. The health subsidies that are structured in this ridiculous behemoth position part-time workers that can possibly yield more disposable income than a full-time schedule. This is an example. Let me give you an example.
Please do.
Obamacare.
Yes.
Imposes a $2,000 penalty for each full-time employee imposed on large employers who don't offer health insurance. Okay, which is just super. Unless you're part-time. If you're part-time, the employer doesn't have to do that. So there's an incentive right there not to have full-time employees.
Yeah, I met a gentleman that had a company employed 34 to 35 people, and I met him a little over a year ago. He was in the process of shutting it down. He was going to keep his business going with just himself and a secretary, and he was going to hire independent folks, independent contractors to take care of his business and let all of those employees go, all of them, because of the red tape and the possibility for getting burnt by the government. Wait a minute,
are you telling me regulations matter here? What are you possibly saying to me? There is a group of people, and they all have a D beside their name, but that group of people and the ones who vote for them and the ones that have Hillary stickers on the back of their car actually think that Obamacare is good. They do it. You talk to these people. They're insane. 454-1366. That's our phone number here at 820 WNTW. 454-1366.
I wish the Vulcan mind meld was real.
The what?
The Vulcan mind meld, where Spock puts his hands on the side of someone's head
and you can figure out how they think.
Read their mind. It's because you would find that most of those people have no idea.
That's scary.
What they
I don't know that you really want to do that. Do you really want to?
You'll find that most of them have no idea what they really think, and certainly don't understand
how the economy or government works.
How it works.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've had conversations in restaurants where other people at other tables would jump into the conversation because they didn't understand. Back before all of this even started, people were telling me they're telling me you don't understand. Hospitalization insurance is going to be free for everyone. It's going to be a utopia type situation.
Free. It's amazing.
You've lost your mind.
It's amazing how expensive it's gotten since it's been free. All right, your phone call's next. 454-1366. The Lee Brothers, 820 WNTW. At 820theanswer.com, we have a video there. The video is Islam, the religion of peace. It's a Prager University YouTube video. And the reason I want you to go there and check it out at 820theanswer.com, click on the Lee Brothers, takes you there, is because it might be censored and you'll never see it again. You see, Google and YouTube have been censoring these conservative YouTube channel called PragerU. Now, Dennis Prager is a radio talk show host. In fact, he's on this station every day, 820 WNTW. And he comes out with these videos that educate people about conservatism ideals and principles. Google and YouTube have put them in the inappropriate box where you can't just go to them. You have to prove your age and all that before you see them. You believe that? The culture we live in is so radically against conservatism, constitutional government, that it will do whatever it takes to make sure people don't get facts and information. The videos that have been put on the shame list by YouTube and Google include, are the police racist? Why do Americans fight in the Korean War? What ISIS wants? Bush lie about Iraq? These are answers to some of these questions. Radical Islam, the most dangerous ideology, that was blocked. The most important question about abortion, that was blocked. Prager University puts out incredible work. And you can find one of those videos at 820theanswer.com. Keyword Lee Brothers takes you right to Islam, Religion of Peace. Incredible video. Check it out there before it's blocked. Also, the Explore God question of the week, which we'll talk about at 4:35. And quite possibly the most unique, creative Disney movies ever made by a young man who wasn't working for Disney, but after they saw this movie, they hired him. You want to know why? 820theanswer.com. Trust me, watch the entire thing. It'll put the biggest smile on your face, and you'll go, wow. And don't we need that today? All right, coming up, Tim Kaine, who wants to be a rapper. We'll share that clip with you next. Lee Brothers, 820, WNTW.
Richmond's example of radio as the founding fathers intended. The Lee Brothers on 820 WNTW.
Yeah, exactly. If Jefferson was here, he'd be sitting across from us. Of course, Richard and I would be talking to him. Hey, dude, what's up? TJ. Can we call you TJ? TJ for short? Lee Brothers on 820 WNTW. My name is Scott Lee, my co-host, my friend and my brother.
Sitting to his left, sometimes his far left,
is Richard Lee. You know, that made sense when we were on the other station, because you literally are on my left. But you're straight ahead.
Sitting straight across from us, sometimes far away. That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. I like the other one better. You're right. We'll stick with that. All right, so Tim Kaine, who will be the next vice president of the United States, as I vomit violently. I just threw my back out violently. I mean, that makes you sick, doesn't it? I mean, it's bad enough that you have Hillary, but then you've got Tim Kaine. All right, so Tim Kaine shows up on a radio station in Charlotte this week, FM 98.
Little Kane.
He says there's no, what the name of the show is No Limit Larry and the Morning Madhouse Show.
Let's refer to him as Little Kane from now on.
He says, as he came on, they just finished a song by Lil Wayne. And so when the song ended, they went to Tim Kaine. Let's see if they got a clip of it here.
In that new hip-hop and R&B. Yeah, we gave that to you, man. It was that Chance the Rapper and Lil Wayne. And right now, the Power 98 star phone is ringing, getting you ready to get out and vote. Mr. Tim Kaine is on the phone. How you doing, Senator Kaine?
Hey, Larry and Jessica, I'm doing great. They call me a Lil Kane, not Lil Wayne.
Freaking hilarious.
Lil Kane on the phone with us, you know what I mean? And we were just talking.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. That's unbelievable.
Let's get him on the radio with us, and we'll say, "What up, Little Kane?"
Little Kane.
Joining us now is the next Vice President of the United States. What up, Little Kane?
Some are horrible people, horrible human beings. Who cares?
So I looked up Lil Wayne. Since Kane was so excited to be called Little Kane because it was a bounce off of Lil Wayne and he was on a rap station, I'm sure Tim Kaine knows who Lil Wayne is, right? I mean,
he's probably got every album.
I'm sure he does. So we looked up a song by Lil Wayne.
Probably knows the lyrics, too.
And we can't tell you the lyrics on the air. I can't even tell
you.
No, here's what I can't. I can't even tell you.
Every other word would get us fined.
I can't even tell you the name of the song.
We would be paying FCC fines until the end of time.
It's rich as a four-letter word with an F.
Rich as beep.
You believe that? That's the name of Lil Wayne's song. And in the song, I can't even tell you the words. All my N-word look like rich as F-word. That's the chorus repeated like 5 or 6 times. That's Lil Wayne. And now we have Little Kane.
You know, it just dawned on me. It must be really easy to write these rap songs because you take a piece of paper and down the right column you write down every foul word you can think of. And then you start the line and you go, okay, I got to plug in a word. Let's go down the foul word list. Here's a good one. And you write it in. Next line. Then she, foul word list. There's a good one. Blah, blah, blah.
The lyrics of this song are
and
worse
then
than
foul word.
They're worse than Trump. They're worse than the lyrics of the song. So Little Kane is taken from Lil Wayne, which
Hillary Clinton's right-hand person.
Okay, that's who he is.
He's Little Kane.
He's Little Kane.
Hillary Clinton's
right-hand person
is Little Kane.
He doesn't even know who he is, a male or female. I'm Hillary's right-hand person. Who says that about themselves? You're her right-hand man. At least last I checked,
we thought you were.
We thought you were. Well, of course, we don't even know anymore.
Wow.
Yeah. Tim Kaine is such a schmuck.
That's not,
isn't he?
That recording is actually Little Kane going, wow, wow, wow. And the question he asked before that recording was, how many people in this room are not from Virginia? And almost everyone in the room raised their hands.
Wow.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that?
I remember that.
Almost everyone in the room raised their hands.
Why is there no outrage over this
rap crap? He was excited about that.
Why is Tim Kaine so quick to embrace the rapness of it instead of saying, you know what, Lil Wayne is disgusting?
You know what's really annoying is these country artists that put rap in their songs. At least they haven't started the foul word list when they write their songs yet.
I've not heard any country.
You've never
rap.
heard any country where they rap?
I don't know what country
rap
songs.
at the bar and the girl across the corner says you made I can't, and then they start to sing.
Really?
Then they go back and go, yeah, standing at the bar.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like, man, this song sucks.
I'm sure that doesn't.
Why are you talking? Why are you talking the song? Sing this stinking thing.
Why not? Exactly. Sing the thing. I mean, that's what I just crazy.
Don't know what I might do. Who knows?
Yeah, right. Thanks. All right, so here's another. You got a problem with the rap artists. Lil Wayne,
Little Kane.
A lecturer at UVA.
He is a short dude.
University of Virginia has a professor who has apologized after comparing Black Lives Matter movement to the KKK on social media. The Daily Progress reported that an adjunct lecturer apologized after responding to a Facebook post about Black Lives Matter, calling the movement the biggest racist organization since KKK.
It is a racist organization.
Have we not heard what they say?
It is a huge racist organization, and any decent
human being should not be a part of that group.
Should have a problem with that organization and what they stand for. Death to police officers. Death
to white people?
Yeah, death now.
Right. We want black officers. We want them dead now. I mean,
of course,
speaking
Black
of rap,
lives matter.
So
do white lives and every other life.
Right. So Black Lives Matter doesn't believe that. They get violent if you say other lives matter.
Oh, yeah.
So...
And they call for violence against other lives.
So is that a group you want to be a part of? Now,
I don't even want them near me.
Here's the thing.
I don't want to go in a part of town where they're protesting or having a party or having a cookout. I don't want to be anywhere near these people.
Here's the deal. They've labeled themselves in such a way that if you're against it, it's like you're saying you're against black people.
And that's not the case at all.
That's not even right.
That's a bunch of dino dung. That's not accurate at all.
But the liberals are great at this, you must admit.
If you're a member of Black Lives Matter and you're listening to us and you don't want to listen to us because we don't agree with you, then don't listen to us. Change the station.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Oh, that's great. That's probably the wrong. Trump probably does approve the message of that one. He shouldn't, though.
Who knows what Trump
does. All right, 454-1366. Are Black Lives Matter the same as the KKK? I mean, are they? Is that too much for a University of Virginia professor to say? By the way, I'm sure he said other things. I'm sure university professors have said outrageous things, but this...
Is he not entitled to his opinion? That's kind of a conservative view right there.
That's
what he stated. It's a conservative view, and that makes him not part of the club, not part of the game of indoctrinators. So is that why he has to apologize?
The game of
Is that why?
I don't know.
Probably so. And that's pathetic.
Possibly.
Definitely.
Could
be. Who knows?
But we have Tim Kaine embracing the rap artist world by calling himself Little Kane. And then
he will embrace anyone if he thinks he'll get a vote out of it. You know that.
Of course. By the way, I would like to offer ourselves up as a write-in in the ballot for president coming up.
I couldn't agree more. If you feel like you just can't vote, go vote. There's other things on the ballot other than the president, and write in the Lee brothers for co-presidency.
Next, coming up, we'll talk about Hillary or Trump, which is worse and why. We'll share that with you and your phone calls, 454-1366. We are the Lee brothers, 820 WNTW.
NTW. The Lee brothers, fighting for liberalism. Fighting liberalism. Sorry, guys. The Lee brothers on 820 WNTW.
Yeah, she needs to change that, get that right. So, who's worse? Lee brothers, 820 WNTW, 454-1366. Is it Hillary or Trump? Isn't that like the debate now? Well, your guy sucks more than my guy, so you should vote for my guy. Oh, well, your guy did this, and that's awful. You should vote for me. So it's like the worst of the worst. And I feel so bad for the cause of freedom and liberty because neither one of them are addressing those two things. And so it's a bad time to be a voter in America.
You know, when Bill was in office and all of this stuff came out, everybody knew that Bill Clinton was basically, what's the right word?
Dirtbag.
A male slut. I mean, everybody knew who he was, but it made him so much more popular.
With who?
With
the Democrats.
With the Democrats and a whole lot of people.
And Hillary.
I don't like Bill Clinton, but I sure would like to sit and have a beer with him because he's such a likable guy.
He's not likable. He makes me vomit, too. So here's the deal. Trump comes out, and he pretty much has his reputation on the line now, and you shouldn't be surprised that Republicans want to distance themselves from him. Instead of him speaking with the Republicans individually, calling Paul Ryan and go, look, I know this is hard for you, he trashes them and says, I'll show you how to win, which he does nothing but get worse and worse for him.
You get more flies with honey than you do vinegar. He would be far better off to sit down and talk to these people and say, okay, look,
but like we
once
talked
I
about,
was a scumbag.
Right.
I'm still a scumbag, but I will refrain from my scumbag extracurricular activities.
Exactly.
As long as I'm in the White House.
You got to talk to people. You just can't call them names. But one thing that you and I talked about yesterday on Senator Amanda Chase's radio program, Cut to the Chase, yesterday as we filled in for her, was where are the Democrats and their outrage over Hillary? The Republicans are in outrage over Trump. In fact, most of them are divided. Some of them aren't going to vote. But where are the Democrats' outrage? You see, we're now learning that the vast majority of career FBI agents and attorneys working with the Clinton case believe she should have been charged. At the minimum, they said her clearance for security should be yanked.
Yeah, she should not be in a position. She could not go to work for the FBI. Her background would prevent her from working from any federal law enforcement agency, but she's qualified to be president of the United States.
Exactly.
Commander-in-Chief.
She couldn't pass a background check today?
Exactly. But she can be commander-in-chief and command our armed forces.
There are people in the FBI who are saying, quote, no trial-level attorney agreed. No agent working the case agreed with the decision not to prosecute. They go on to say, the New York Post actually recently reported the FBI agents were ready to revolt over the Clinton email investigation. But agents say Comey tied investigators' hands by agreeing to unheard-of ground rules and other demands by the lawyers for Clinton and their aides that limited the investigation. What? Comey tied his own hands? In my 25 years with the Bureau, said one chief, first chief, said, I never had any ground rules in my interviews. Instead of going to prosecutors and insisting on using grand jury leverage to compel testimony and seize evidence, Comey allowed immunity for several key witnesses, including potential targets. Why would Comey do that? Never done before. The FBI agents are amazed. The immunity agreement came with outrageous side deals, including preventing agents, listen to this, including preventing agents from searching any documents on a Dell laptop owned by the former Clinton chief of staff, Cheryl Mills.
And she's qualified to be president of the United States.
So Donald Trump.
She's qualified to lead our armed forces not qualified to pass a background check to work for any federal agency, but she can be president.
So Donald Trump said some things you don't like. Hillary Clinton has done things that are illegal and you don't like. Which is worse? Are we not in the biggest situation we've ever been in? I am not going to sit here at 454-1366 and say to my fellow Republicans, you should be ashamed of yourself for not voting for Trump. I will not do that. I understand the outrage. And Trump should also. Trump ought to be the first to go to other Republicans and say, look, this puts you in a horrible situation.
And I'm sorry.
And I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Instead, he does the opposite. Hillary Clinton is the only person, or I'm sorry, Donald Trump is the only person on the planet that has allowed Hillary Clinton to say something that I can't believe she's actually able to say. And that is that she is the one who gets to take the high ground. I find it amazing.
When I hear something like that, I am reminded of what my friend Michelle Obama advised us all. When they go low, you go high.
Hillary? Someone should ask her the question, hey, Hillary, what's it like up there? You haven't been there in a long time. What's it like?
Unbelievable. That she has the high ground? How bad does the Republican candidate have to be that Hillary Clinton could claim the high ground?
How much dirt has to be brought to the surface before people will say this woman cannot be president? How much?
454-1366. We are the Lee Brothers, 820 WNTW.
WNTW.
We're a beacon, baby. We're a beacon of truth.
Beacon, glowing bright.
All right, drop us an email, would you? Patriots at theleebrothers.com or 454-1366. 2 more hours dead ahead of the Lee Brothers here on your drive home on a Friday afternoon before the weekend. All right, check us out again at 820theanswer.com because there's a Prager University video there. Is Islam a religion of peace? And YouTube is trying to ban it, or at least restrict it. So is Google. They're restricting all the Prager University clips.
Which is unbelievable.
But not now. 820theanswer.com. Click on the Lee Brothers. Takes you right to our page where you can see that video. You can see the Explore God question of the week. We'll have that coming for you at 4:30. And by far, the best Disney movie that got this guy a job is posted there also. And get home.
Very cool.
Get with your kids and take 3 minutes and watch the video that won this guy a job at Disney. And I promise you, you watch the whole thing. The first minute of this video, you're like, that's horrible. At the end, you're going to, I bet you almost cry. Not that I want you to cry, but it's a good cry. You ever had a good cry?
He cry. He told me he did.
It's just not true.
If you're a diehard Hillary supporter, wouldn't you love to hear from some this afternoon to tell us why? 454-1366.
The questions of the debate. That's what we tuned in on at the town hall. I want you to hear the questions that were asked during the town hall debate, and we'll answer them as only the Lee Brothers can. And your phone calls, 454-1366, live on this Saturday. The Lee Brothers, 820.
Maybe we should roll over to the Democratic Party. Those guys are kind of untouchable, aren't they?
They are. You can do whatever you want. In fact, we'd be pure as a wind-driven snow over there. They couldn't see all the bad we did. Well, we got plenty of bad. We are the Lee Brothers at 820 WNTW.
You can do whatever you want at the Liberal Peak Restaurant. Yeah.
Hey, this hour, we get to explore God together. Join us, would you? The National Park Service celebrates exclusivity. At our parks? Come on, it's about trees and stuff, right? And the questions of the town hall debate, we will share them with you right now. Virginia Citizens and American Patriots, the only two-headed talk show in Richmond. No, it's true, we looked into it. The Lee Brothers, my name is Scott Lee.
I'm Richard Lee, 454-1366. We'd like to hear from you this afternoon. 454-1366. Be safe in your afternoon commute. It's beautiful weather out there. We have a lot of accidents in the area, so travel carefully and do not text and drive.
All right, coming up, we're going to talk about Yes, the
Yes. We haven't talked about the in a while.
This Richmond man who shot at people who wouldn't stop and help him on 295. We'll talk about that.
Actually, the gentleman was stopping to help when he said,
he got shot at.
Well, that guy was going to stop. Sorry, dude. Didn't mean to shoot a hole in your vehicle.
Yeah, that doesn't help much.
That's such a bizarre story.
All right, that coming up at 5 o'clock, among other things. But first, the town hall debates are always interesting to me because the questions to me always set the liberal conservative kind of stage. And this is no different. Same thing happened. And we got some of these questions that we want to play for you. But as you listen to the questions, think about the premise of the question. And see, I've always felt like that needs to be debunked first. Instead of answering the question, you have to debunk the premise of the question. And the best example would be the question on Islam, because to me, that needed to be debunked first. Here is the question on Islam. That's coming.
There are 3.3 million Muslims in the United States, and I'm one of them. You've mentioned working with Muslim nations, but with Islamophobia on the rise, how will you help people like me deal with the consequences of being labeled as a threat to the country after the election is over?
I'm going to reject right now that Islamophobia is on the rise in this country. I'm dead serious. We do the complete opposite. Trust me, I go through TSA screenings almost every single week. There is no Islamophobia. In fact, we don't even want to even look at people who are Islam because we're scared to death of it. This country bends over backwards.
Be called a racist or to be politically incorrect.
Right.
We're afraid of these things.
We are scared to death of it. How dare you say that Islamophobia is on the rise? Could you imagine a presidential candidate going, I disagree with that. It's not on the rise. People go, oh, it isn't on the rise. America does more to prevent that kind of mentality than any other country on the planet. If there ought to be a country that Islamophobia is real, I mean, you could actually make the case that it's Europe or other places they should be concerned about Islamophobia.
And they have terrorist attacks happening in Europe.
Right.
Frequently.
So Islamophobia is the first thing. Now listen to the other part of her question here is, what are you going to do to make sure I don't get discriminated against? Well, I would actually say that's your responsibility. It's your religion. Get a hold of it. Once you can figure out where the bad people are in your faith, show us who they are.
Point them out. Shun them. Get them out of your mosques.
I mean, how is it our responsibility to not be offended or to be looked at Islam in a negative light? I got to tell you, there's nothing racist or wrong for people right now to look at Islam and go, I'm not so sure. That doesn't mean they're mean. That doesn't mean they're nasty. They hate everybody. But they're not sure. Is that wrong?
Are there bad Muslims in the United States? Are there terrorist cells in the United States?
Under the name of Islam.
What faith do they follow?
Exactly.
99.99%, if not 100, they follow the Muslim faith. They follow Islam. People in mosques today, are there people of the Muslim faith in mosques today that know they've got dangerous people as part of their mosque? Absolutely.
So the question has to be refuted before it can even be answered. And we're not going to play the answers for you because Trump blew it and so did Hillary. So it doesn't even matter. It's horrible. Now, the Supreme Court question came up. Tell me about the Supreme Court picks and what you would do about them. And we don't have the question, but Hillary's answer is unbelievable.
I want to appoint Supreme Court justices who understand the way the world really works.
What?
Who have real life experience.
What?
Understand what people are up against, because I think the current court has gone in the wrong direction.
That's the prerequisite for our judge? Do you know how the world works? How about real life experiences? How are you doing with that? What is that? Liberalism is amazing to me. There is this thing called a constitution. It's just not what you feel like as a judge you ought to be ruling on. It's not about your life experiences, you bonehead. It's about this thing called the Constitution.
And the interpretation of laws.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what it's supposed to be about. It's not supposed to be about their life experiences.
That's craziness.
They have something to guide them that until something changes, they have to follow.
Now, this would be an answer if there was no such thing as a Constitution. Then you could say, well, what matters to me is real-life experiences, you understand. Someone who goes through life and gets it. What? That is the craziest thing I've ever heard. And yet the left applauds this woman. She's the smartest woman in the world, and she thinks the Supreme Court justice ought to have a good life experience. It's nothing to do with it.
Bobbleheads.
Now, Trump did even worse. He talked about how his nominees would be vetted.
Very beautifully reviewed by
just
about everybody.
It's either very beautifully reviewed by just about everybody. Just about everybody. Everybody.
Just about.
But we're going to be busy.
They're beautifully
We
reviewed.
have to be not beautifully, very beautifully.
Is that the right adverb or adjective for that word?
No.
I'm not so sure that's how it works. They'll be beautifully... What are you saying?
Isn't that kind of like saying...
Very beautifully reviewed by...
beautifully reviewed?
Just about everybody.
Oh, that was beautiful. Your review was beautiful. It was
I
just
think
a
I heard him
beautiful
say
review.
very extremely once. I mean, it's either extremely or it's not.
Which one is it?
The stupidity.
Exactly.
The stupidity.
He is really good at pronunciating.
I think he spit when he said pitity.
You think? I don't
Somebody
know.
got wet.
The stupidity.
Something went in somebody's eye.
That was an important word for him.
Stupidity.
Something went in somebody's eye.
That hurt a little bit.
That hurt your chest. Just
I
saying
think I
it.
pulled a muscle.
454-1366. That's the measure from the left. I wonder if the left even said, you know what? Why would Hillary say that is the rule for a judge? Doesn't the left want the Constitution to be obeyed? You're right. They don't.
No.
It's in the way.
No, it's an
a
old
problem.
document. It's an old piece of paper. They should keep it for historical purposes so people can look at it, but
not use it.
I mean,
come on.
It doesn't work in today's liberal world.
Not at all. I mean, and we can't expect you to, or anyone to really understand it. That's why if we just had someone with real life experiences, they could go be a judge in a black robe and say, my real life experiences suggest that the Second Amendment's outdated. Really?
I mean, this is an old document written by a bunch of old guys who wore wigs on the weekends. I mean,
right.
How could you?
Well, I don't know if they wore them on the weekend. It was
that's right.
It was Monday
they wore them
through
during
Friday.
the week.
Yeah, it was during the week.
If you caught them with the wig off, you'd be like, hey,
who are you? You look funny.
Where's Tommy?
All right, coming up,
He's out back
the
with his
most
slave.
ridiculous question of the town hall debate. We'll share that with you next. 454-1366. 454-1366. The Lee Brothers 820 WNTW. Virginia citizens in the mold of Jefferson, Madison, and Henry, and American patriots, for those who have died for the cause of freedom and liberty. 454-1366. We're up and running here on a Friday afternoon on your way home, talking about the town hall debate. The questions are amazing because the questions have a premise behind the question. Sometimes before you can even answer the question, you must reject the premise. We just played for you the Islam question. Of course, no one rejected the premise there. We played for you the Supreme Court answer, and they got that wrong. But this is the question of the debate. This is the one that literally my head almost blew off my body because of the radical leftist premise behind it, and nobody refuted it.
My question is, what specific tax provisions will you change to ensure the wealthiest Americans pay their fair share in taxes?
I almost threw some at the TV because, first of all, nobody answered it the way they should have. I would have asked this kid, what percentage do they currently pay? Do you have any idea? And he would have said, no.
No.
I said, the top 1% pay 38% of the Treasury, money to the Treasury. What should they pay, sir? That is how you answer the question. And what a great opportunity was missed for all of America.
And he can't.
Trump couldn't articulate.
He wouldn't be able to
heck no.
answer that question.
Trump actually came right out with to get rid of some deduction or something stupid like that. Instead of addressing the actual question and saying, your premise is wrong. The wealthy and the rich pay more than anyone by a long shot. What should they pay? And I would have taken the opportunity to say to this kid, how have you been so brainwashed to think that the rich aren't paying their – we have a progressive income tax in this country. The more you make, the more you have to pay. Is that – what more do you want to do? I mean, here's the hatred for the wealthy in our country is spooled and spawned by socialist Marxists by the name of Hillary Clinton and Democrats.
And isn't that sad? I mean, this nation is the only nation on the planet where you can go out and really make something happen for yourself if you really go out there and apply yourself and try. We're the only country that can do that. And these people that hate the rich because they're the rich.
Right.
And those folks are not. That's sad.
So that premise was never debunked. Here's Trump's answer real quick. I mean, did it like 3 seconds.
But she is raising your taxes and I'm lowering your taxes.
Okay, thank you. We know that. And if that's a good enough answer, I suppose. I mean,
the guy didn't ask, are you going to raise my
taxes? I know, he didn't ask that.
That's not what he asked at all.
He should have been refuted on the face of it. And see, no politician ever gets this right. They should have put this kid in his place and looked at the camera of America and say, the wealthy pay plenty. And here's one other thing. What good is it? What good is it going to do to tax them more? I mean, seriously, what good is it? What, are you going to put money back into a place that's blowing it every second they get it? Here's what Hillary tried to bounce around a little bit, talked about her tax or defined Trump's tax plan.
His plan will give the wealthy and corporations the biggest tax cuts they've ever had.
All right, hang on a second. If that's true, who cares? Why? Why would you even care if that's true?
What would corporations do with the money? They would grow their business, which would create jobs.
Why do they not want that?
May actually drive prices down.
Right.
Where everyone benefits. But the bottom line is they can pay their people more. It will create jobs.
Hillary makes it sound like it's a bad thing.
They want to paint the picture that those evil people in those ivory towers on top of those corporations are just going to stuff more money in their own pockets.
You know, it's interesting how the left has made us fear the CEO and the entrepreneur, but not government. The CEO can't force you into chains. They can't even make you buy their products.
That's part of the indoctrination process, though. I mean, if they can make you fear that, then you're going to vote Democratic.
Right.
Period.
His plan will give the wealthy and corporations the biggest tax cuts they've ever had, more than the Bush tax cuts by at least a factor of 2. Donald always takes care of Donald and people like Donald, and this would be a massive gift.
A gift.
It's not a massive gift.
It's their money. What do you mean it's a gift? They get to keep their money and they call it a gift? How insane is that? Who thinks that way? Oh, my gosh. Somebody help us. All right, your phone call's next, 454-1366. We're the Lee Brothers, 820 WNTW.
Yes, Warren Buffett is the one who's gone out and said somebody like him should not be paying a lower tax rate than his secretary.
They're not. Here, let's just refute this. Warren Buffett does not pay income taxes. Is that clear to everybody? He does not pay income taxes. He pays capital gains taxes, and those are taxed differently than income. Jeez, people, come on.
I want to have a surcharge on incomes above $5 million. We have to make up for lost time because I want to invest in you. I want to invest in hardworking families.
Invest in you. She got that word from Little Kane.
Yeah, invest in you.
You know, because he's the one that talked about tax increases as an investment in Virginia.
Isn't it great how the liberals have been so compassionate? I'm going to invest in you.
Make up for lost time. So in other words,
exactly.
She wants to get back all of the tax breaks you folks have had for the last 12, 16 years, whatever.
Because I want to invest above $5 million. We have to make up for lost times because I want to.
That's great.
She wants that money. She wants that money.
That is crazy. All right, visit us at 820theanswer.com. There's the 3 great videos of the day. The Religion of Peace. Is Islam such? And the best Disney short film you'll see in a long, long time. And
maybe ever.
The Explore God video. It is the question of the week that 150 churches will be preaching on this Sunday. The question is, the Bible, is it reliable? Is it trustworthy? Is it divine in origin rather than human? Good question. I like these questions. These are good questions. They deserve great answers. So what we're going to do is, coming up, join us as we explore God. We have a local pastor join us to talk about just that. And then later on in the show, we're going to talk about national parks. They've created an exclusivity Inclusivity. Inclusivity in the parks.
This will be the strangest story you've probably ever heard. It is unbelievable.
It truly is. 820theanswer.com. Click on the Lee Brothers. Virginia Citizens, American Patriots. 820 WNTW. There we go. It's Friday. The Lee Brothers at 820 WNTW. My name is Scott Lee, my co-host and friend and brother.
Sitting to his left, sometimes his far left.
You're much closer to my right now. Richard Lee. All right, it's now been a tradition here for the last 5 to 6 weeks. Explore God is hitting the capital of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Let's explore together, shall we?
I know a place where we can go to lay the troubles down, leading your soul. I know a place where mercy flows. Take the stains, make it whiter than snow. Like a tide, it is rising up deep inside a current that moves and makes it come alive. Anything water, it brings the dead to life. We're going down to the river, down to the river, down to the river.
I love that song. That's just a great tune. And my kids love it too. We always play this when we're hanging out at the house, around the fire pit in the backyard. The Lee Brothers here on Explore God segment. This has been an amazing event over the last 5 or 6 weeks. We've enjoyed this tremendously. 150 churches, all teaching on the exact same thing Sunday mornings behind the pulpits in their churches.
It's amazing.
And
it really is.
we have seen some lives change through this. And the Lee Brothers truly believe, of all the politics we talk about and all the things about conservatives and all the rest of it, that America changes when our hearts do. This is how we doing it. Joining us right now is Pastor Rick Fink of Grace Lutheran Church right here in Chester. Hey, Pastor.
Hey, Pastor.
How are you? How are you, Richard, Scott?
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So have you enjoyed this this experiment or this Explore God as much as we have?
Yes, absolutely. It's been a delight.
Why did you guys decide to get involved?
Well, I think anytime you can get 150 churches of a vast spectrum of denominations, of Christian denominations together on a project, you have to jump on that. It doesn't happen that often. The commitment of each of the churches to the Apostles' Creed as the baseline was something that played into our decision as well. And it just comes from a deep concern and a love for folks, and we want them to know Jesus.
Then people will know you by your love for one another. How's your congregation responded to it?
They're responding very well. A couple of them have started groups to do the discussions of the various questions each week.
Very nice.
And they responded well to the questions because when you look at the 7 questions, they are some of what I call the biggies, the ones that people have wrestled with literally for millennia. And that was another appeal. I said, boy, this is good stuff. This is stuff that people want to hear, Do
you think this is kind of a good springboard to our culture that we should be able to answer these questions, that good questions deserve good answers?
Absolutely. And I think part of the appeal of Explore God is that we're not promising that we're going to give pat answers to these questions. It's an invitation to people to come and discuss them. And that's what the format is. It's open discussion. Now, in our sermons and so forth, many of us are preaching what our particular doctrinal stance is and our view on it. But the individual discussion groups, which people are invited to, either at churches or Panera Breads or Starbucks, are meant to just be open-ended discussions to invite people into the process.
Yeah, and we agree with you. So let's take a minute and let's discuss a question, shall we?
Sure.
That's why we had you on. This is a tough one. I mean, by the way, I love this question because it's one of the ones I just kind of mentioned. Good question deserves a good answer. Is the Bible reliable? That's what you'll be teaching on this Sunday.
Absolutely. And my simple answer is absolutely. I think part of the problem is that people are so assaulted by information that we want to find quick answers. And so we don't take the time often to delve into a subject or to delve into a question. If they will take that question seriously and look at what evidence is out there,
right.
I think they'll be convicted.
So I like to have fun with this question because when I get it, first of all, I guess all questions from a Christian perspective ought to be seen as real concerns unless you see otherwise. Some people just ask questions to put you on the spot and make you look stupid. Others are legitimate questions. And if you can find someone who has this legitimate question, I always return this question with one. I always say, what test do you apply to any book of antiquity to determine its reliability?
Yes. Excellent.
And I think that always makes them think. So there is a test, you see. There is such a thing as testing any work of antiquity for its reliability. And there's one we can apply to the Bible as well.
Absolutely. And the fact is there are more manuscripts, ancient manuscripts of the Bible than any other historical document. There are literally thousands of manuscripts, some of great antiquity,
that's right.
which document the Bible. And they can be. We know they can be trusted because of the fact that we can demonstrate consistency between these ancient documents and what we are reading today. A classic case is the Dead Sea Isaiah scroll.
Yep.
The oldest one we had dated to about 1000 A.D., and the one that was discovered in 47 or 48, 1947 or 48 at Qumran, dated from 100 B.C. And when they finally got it opened, it took a while, because of the great antiquity of the scroll. But when they finally got it open and laid it down next to this next oldest one, 1,100 years newer, there was virtually no difference.
This is the most amazing story,
incredible.
and I'm glad you brought this up. This kid threw a rock in a cave, heard a crash, went in to investigate, found the Dead Sea Scrolls, and you're exactly right. This is absolute confirmation that this is it is very reliable.
Yes.
Archaeology, the prophecy, the science, the statistical probability have shown us that this book is divine in origin rather than human. And I would only encourage people as we come to these questions that something you've already mentioned. Look, study. Try to see for yourself. The God of all creation isn't scared of you looking.
Absolutely. No question about it. And one of my favorite stories has to do with a gentleman named Dr. Peter Stoner, who in 1957, Moody Press published a book by him called Science Speaks, an evaluation of certain Christian evidences. And what Stoner did was, there's over 300 prophecies about Jesus in the Old Testament.
Prophecies, right. It's amazing.
Yeah. And Stoner just took 8 of them and said, what are the chances, just using the laws of mathematical probability, of those 8 prophecies coming true in the life of one man at one point in history? And what he came up with was the chances were 1 in 10 to the 17th power. That's 1 in 100 quadrillion of those 8 prophecies out of 300 coming true in the life of one man. And then he put it in perspective. He said, that 100 quadrillion is a number that nobody can get their mind around unless you put a dollar sign in front of it, and then maybe some politicians in Washington would understand it. But 100 quadrillion would cover this. If you had 100 quadrillion silver dollars, that would cover the state of Texas 2 feet deep. Yep.
Wow.
And the chance of one man fulfilling those 8 prophecies would be the same as if I were to take one of those silver dollars, mark it with an X, ask you to turn your back, and I were to go somewhere in the state of Texas, throw that marked coin, and then say, you have to find it on the first try.
I think that doesn't the story go on to the guy's blindfolded too? That's the percentage of 8 of the.
Oh, that could, it could be. Could be. Yeah.
Amazing story.
Yeah.
Just quickly, remaining seconds we have here. Tell us about your church, when your service is. Where's located?
Our services are at 8:15 and 10:45 on Sundays. We have Bible study at 9:30. We're looking at the Book of Revelation. We have a very active youth ministry. We have 2 youth pastors here and youth coordinators, and good music program. It's just a great. I can say this because its greatness predated me, but it's just a great congregation of very loving people. And I just Grace Lutheran.
Great.
Yep. On Harrogate Road, 13028 Harrogate Road in Chester.
Thanks, Pastor. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
That's Pastor Rich Fink from Grace Lutheran Church.
A truly great American.
Surely alive. He's living on the inside.
ExploreGod.com/Richmond. You can check it out there. Find all the churches in the Richmond area that are participating in this. And you too this week should be there to listen to While the Bible is Reliable at your church that has the big sign up front. Explore God. All right, coming up, we're going to share with you the National Park Service explores LGBT history. For some reason, I have no
LGBTQ.
idea. And your phone calls, 454-1366, Lee Brothers 820 WNTW. 454-1366, Lee Brothers 820 WNTW. The National Park Service is now even doing it. What am I talking about? Well, everything, I don't know why we have to be exposed to.
He said exposed.
I did say exposed to the stories of sex. It used to be that what people did in their privacy of their own home was their business. Now we're being told that we have to talk about gay sex. We have to talk about lesbian sex. We have to have these conversations. And not only do we have to talk about them, I've got to know whether you're gay or not. And quite frankly, I don't care. But now we have to know. It's one of those things where it's coming out day. And now I get to walk around with a sign.
This is a coming out day in the national parks, right?
No, it was National Coming Out Day, but the National Park Service has a new idea.
They want to jump in.
The Interior Department and the National Park Service has announced a renewed effort to tell a more inclusive story of our nation's history.
So they want to discuss the possibility of LGBTQ Indians and settlers, or I don't understand.
They are going around the country and they're connecting to the homosexual movement certain historical designations. Are you kidding me?
They're connecting the historical destinations to the homosexual community.
Right. He says, quote here, the director of this Yahoo project says, as we identify and document the contributions of communities like the LGBTQ, we also work with the public through the National Park Service and broaden the inclusion of these populations. So the last time you went to the national park, or any national park, were you going, where are the gay trees? Where is the gay signage? Are you serious?
Where are the gay hikers? Where are the
this
gay
is
picnic
freaking believable
goers? Where are the gay bears?
If this was the other way around,
that doesn't make it.
And the left wasn't pushing their indoctrination fascist statements about the gay lifestyle. It was the other way around. Let's say Christians were running the government for some reason, some crazy Christian, and they were going to go out there and go, we're going to find all the Christians at the National Park Service, and we're going to have a Christian recognition.
And we're going to go around to all the historical landmarks around the country, and we're going to put up all kinds of Christian signage and so forth. That wouldn't fly.
For a second.
For a split second.
The study that they're doing here is a comprehensive, first-of-its-kind project to explore how the legacy of the I can hardly even comprehend this. They're going to explore how the legacy of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer individuals can be recognized, preserved, and interpreted.
I thought that's what the story says. I thought the Q stood for questioning.
I'm sure it does.
And whoever wrote that just didn't know, apparently, because
Is this what we want our national parks doing? Is there any place
how much money is
can
this
I go
going
somewhere?
to cost?
Can I go
and
anywhere
why?
without worrying about being told that there's gay people?
Do they have money?
I know there's gay people.
They have money in
Okay?
their budget. I mean, and they've got to spend it or something. I mean, this is going to have a cost associated with it?
I'm sure. There are 10 LGBTQ sites that have been designated by the federal government.
So they're going to put up historical markers?
Just as your family's taking the tour. Mommy, what's LGBTQ? Well, here's what gay is. Let me explain to you what gay is. Gay is when you take... No, I can't even tell you what it is. Let me explain to you what the Nope, I can't tell you what that is either. Oh, but you want us to. I see. The government wants to indoctrinate your kids into this. I got it. I see completely now. You know, this isn't about acceptance. This is about indoctrination. This is about shoving an agenda down the throats of people who are trying to raise their kids to be moral and productive. And to just go to the frickin' national park without the worry of having a story about sex.
I don't understand how they can tie a historical site to the LGBTQ community. How can you? I mean, is this a site where back in the day the LGBTQ community, when they were in the closet, would come and hide behind this historical marker? I mean, I don't understand. I don't get it. I mean, how can you possibly tie?
When I first read this, I thought they were going to talk about, trees being gay and all that kind of thing, but I guess that's not at all what was supposed to be. All right, coming up.
What about the people who cry over the trees that were chopped down?
If you tried to help somebody on the side of the road and pulled over to help them, they took a shot at you with a gun, would you stick around? That story next.
Or would you shoot back?
The Lee Brothers, 454-1366, 820 WNTW.
Hey.
Patriots at theleebrothers.com. Thank you so much for all the emails that have already been sent over, and we're going to do our best to answer them all at Patriots at theleebrothers.com and 454-1366. All right, coming up, you won't believe what University of Florida is doing.
You won't believe this.
They are concerned that you might be offended by a Halloween costume, so they have counselors standing by.
At the Bias Education Response Team. What are these guys sitting around on benches with these weird uniforms with BERT written across them?
We got a phone
Bias
call.
Education Response Team.
It's a response
the phone's ringing. Oh, nope. That's the pizza guy. He's out front.
They're first responders.
Yeah. They're first responders.
That's coming up. And, of course, your phone calls at 454-1366. Go to 820theanswer.com. Click on this incredible caricature of the only two-headed talk show in Richmond called the Lee Brothers. And click on that. It takes you to our page. There you'll find the Religion of Peace, a video by Prager University with a question mark. Islam, the Religion of Peace. Very, very good. I think you'll like it. Also, Explore God Question of the Week. We just talked about that. And the best Disney film that brings a smile to your heart, but maybe a tear in your eye at the same time.
It's 3 minutes long. You don't want to miss it.
It's fantastic. 820theanswer.com. Click on the Lee Brothers. Takes you right to the videos of the day.
University of Florida has the You Matter We Care program. How do they get away with You Matter?
Yeah.
Just asking. And that's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in case you're offended by a Halloween costume.
It's Friday afternoon. You're driving home. Lee Brothers, 820 WNTW. No, seriously, it's that bad out there. So the University of Florida is offering counseling for Halloween costumes.
If you're an adult
and you're offended by that,
and you're offended by a Halloween costume, you need more than counseling.
Walmart,
heavy medication.
Walmart is banning an All Lives Matter bumper sticker because that's not about all lives. And would you stop to help a man waving a gun at you? And you pull away, you get shot. That's next. Virginia Citizens, American Patriots. Radio, as the Founding Fathers intended. The Lee Brothers. My name is Scott Lee.
I'm Richard Lee. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Be careful with your afternoon commute. We have a lot of accidents out there today, so take it easy. Take a few extra minutes and get home safe.
Indeed. All right. So, by the way, I was trying to drive here this afternoon, and 288 is down to one lane. They've got construction, and it's just
construction,
which I hate. And I'm driving in the left lane, and I'm going at a pretty good rate of speed. And as I come around the corner, all the traffic on the right has stopped.
Parking lot.
And I'm in the left lane, and there's nobody in front of me, and I'm flying. And I quickly realize I'm blown by all these people in the right lane. I don't even see.
There's nobody in front of you.
I don't even see where the road ends. And behind me is a line of traffic. And so I noticed that people don't like that. And this guy pulls out and takes over my lane so I can't pass him. You've seen these people do this, right?
Oh, yeah. Did you get around him?
No, I actually slowed down and said, well, I guess I'm not going any further. But the road is wide open. Why can't I drive on it? If they wanted it closed, they would have cones. Am I not right on this? If they didn't want you on it.
They will tell you to fill that lane.
They will.
Fill that lane. Instead of backing it up for 10 miles, back it up for 5 and fill that lane.
And zip her in.
Yeah.
Why is this so hard for people? So, is that a problem? Does it make you mad when people are zooming by you in the lane that's wide open? Get in the lane for the love of purity and all that is good and decent in America.
Fill that lane. You're supposed to fill that lane.
454-1366. Am I wrong on this? Maybe you're sitting in that traffic right now on 288 going, there's people blowing by me. If it makes you mad, why don't everybody get in both lanes,
fill the
both lanes, and zip her in?
One go, another go. One go, another. Take turns letting people go.
It seems to make sense, but I have a problem blowing by people because I feel like they're going to be mad at me. And, of course, the only ones that are ever mad at me.
The stupidity.
The ones that are mad at me.
The stupidity.
Are the ones with an Obama bumper sticker or a Hillary bumper sticker, or it's a Prius, which I could run right over the top of and never even feel it.
So you're saying Democrats are not good drivers? Is that what
I'm saying? That they're the ones who are typically angry.
Well, that's
true.
True. I mean, out on the road, that's true.
So I'm riding in this traffic, and the left lane shut down, right? And I'm stuck in the left lane waiting to get over, and I'm looking to the car beside me, and it's covered in bumper stickers. And it's covered in not a single honorary Lee Brother bumper sticker, of course not. It's covered in every single liberal propaganda bumper sticker you can think of. And what I mean by propaganda is that's exactly what these bumper stickers are. So I happened to just glance at a couple of them. And guess what? The one big one was Black Lives Matter. This person driving the car wasn't black, but I guess it doesn't matter because Black
so
Lives
Walmart's
Matter.
banning an All Lives Matter bumper sticker, but will they sell a Black Lives Matter?
I don't know. I'm sure they will.
Also had stores like that should not get involved in that way. That's going to hurt. That's ultimately going to hurt their business.
I would think so.
They're not going to win that way. I mean,
so but okay, just to be clear here, you're with me that lane's wide open. You can drive in the left lane when construction.
Absolutely.
You do that?
Absolutely. I do. Yes, I do that because you're supposed to do that.
You're
supposed to do
drive
that.
Why don't people do that?
And you're not supposed to block oncoming traffic. Somebody comes around a curve and you've decided nobody else is going to fill that lane because I'm big and I'm bad. I'm going to stick my truck over it. If somebody comes around a curve and slams into you, who do you think is going to get the ticket? You are.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. You're impeding the flow of traffic.
Why do people pull over in that lane and keep them from driving on it?
I can't answer.
Why aren't they in the lane?
Ridiculous actions of
but
people.
Richard,
it's just like
this.
the people who drive with their high beams on all the time.
I think that's
idiots. If you're a person that drives with your high beams on all the time, and it's like
people don't do that.
I don't care if I'm blinding a family of 4 on the other side of the road.
That's not happening.
It is happening every night.
It is?
Yes.
I don't have that problem. Maybe
you're
it's a personal issue.
annoying
You sure
jerk,
people aren't?
And you need to dim your stinking lights.
Do you think they really know they're on brights on purpose?
Absolutely.
So
you flash your lights out. They don't care.
You think they're literally doing it on purpose? You think people are driving around with their brights on purpose?
I think they're doing it because they just I'll put my lights up and pretend like I don't notice.
That's not
the
true.
big
Nobody
blue
is
bulb
doing that.
Glowing in my face on my dashboard.
Let me ask you a question. You've never driven with your brights on and went, I didn't mean to do that.
Once, I think.
Oh, exactly.
Let me look at my calendar.
Let me just suggest something
on
to you.
The mistakes I've made in the past. I've got them all documented. Once I thought I was wrong, but I was mistaken.
That the people who are driving with their brights on at night don't know it.
Or they shouldn't be out driving at night.
Okay, that's a
or
different
they're
story.
Just idiots.
But you're suggesting they do it on purpose. I disagree with that.
I'm suggesting a lot of people do it on purpose, yes. I like to mount aircraft landing lights on the front of my car. So I flash at them once, I flash at them twice, and I sear their eyeballs right out of their head with my aircraft landing lights. The sun comes up in front of them.
There's something wrong with you.
And they go into a ditch.
There's something seriously wrong with you. 454-1366. Is it wrong to drive in that left lane? That's not closed.
Of course it's not. It's
not closed, but everyone thinks it is, and they're getting over already. Is it wrong to be in that lane?
The stupidity.
I'm not sure it is.
It is not wrong to be in that lane. You're supposed to fill that lane.
Why is it that the person who tried to stop me had all these leftist bumper? By the way, the coexist bumper sticker, I just want to go on record as stating, is ridiculous because people are there's only one in that coexist. That's a problem.
Is that sending a message to someone who's not coexisting?
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
I mean, oh, okay, I coexist.
You see that bumper sticker? Oh, I should do that. Maybe I will start today. I mean, that's crazy. Why put that sticker on your car?
Of course, the Hillary 2016 sticker was there. How about this sticker? Anything war can do, peace can do better. Now, if you're not a liberal puke beyond control of your thoughts, then that would be a sticker you'd put on your car because here's the premise. You don't have peace until you have war. War causes peace. Think about every war we've ever had. America has been at. What's the result of it? Peace. Was it peace before the war? No. It wasn't. War was necessary to have peace.
So you're a warmonger. Is that what you're saying?
I must be. Total warmonger.
So you get excited when the news breaks, hey, America's in another war. You're like, yes. Is that kind of you?
No, I didn't say that.
You're all excited when Desert Storm?
My words and you're
Desert Storm started.
Why did Desert Storm start?
I was excited
because there was a lack of peace in Kuwait. Exactly.
See,
that's my point. You're making my point on that one.
And he took over Kuwait.
I hate when
an innocent little country. I mean, what were we supposed to have done? Let Kuwait fall under, Iraq's rule? I mean, is that what we were supposed to do?
Apparently. That's what the left thinks. All right, coming up, this guy that shot at a car that was stopping to help him. We'll discuss that. And your phone calls, 454-1366. 454-1366. Lee Brothers 820 WNT. Walmart has banned the bumper sticker, All Lives Matter. And then they put it back on again once they realized they got caught. Owner of the company, the family-owned business that had been selling the bumper stickers at Walmart's online marketplace, was fired up and got mad. He sent an email to Walmart demanding to know why the All Lives Matter bumper sticker was prohibited. He got a message back from Walmart that said, All Lives Matter has been deemed an offensive term.
By who?
Right.
By who?
Who thinks? Now think about this, people.
Lives matter. All lives matter. How could that possibly be deemed an offensive term?
We have come to the part in our country where the term all lives matter is a problem.
That's unbelievable.
And it's not appropriate at Walmart's marketplace. The owner went on to say Walmart should be ashamed of itself. To advocate a role that is not all lives matter is deplorable. No kidding. He went on to talk about how they blatantly removed the bumper sticker was a mistake in their system.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's dino dung. That's not true.
While we seriously doubt the veracity of the claim, we're taking it at face value. Someone needs to code the algorithm in the system to consider the term "all lives matter" offensive. A computer can't do that on its own. A computer's going, "All lives matter." Let's flag that one. This is preposterous. This is where we've come now today.
That's a supporter of the Black Lives Matter movement. I would bet you.
I can't believe that our culture, common sense, and liberalism have sunk to this level, that simple things like all lives matter is now offensive. I guess it fits to the next story. A Richmond man told police that he opened fire on a driver that came alongside to help him. Yeah, he just offered that information up.
He said he was upset because nobody was stopping to help him.
Yeah, well, so if you wave a gun at somebody, don't be surprised if they don't want to stop and help you. Apparently, a driver was headed south on 295 near the New Market Road exit at 6:30 a.m. on May 17th when he saw a man whom he would have identified as Maddox on the side of the highway waving his arms. Thinking Maddox needed help, the man started to pull over. But after seeing the man had a gun in his hand, the motorist sped away. And what does any other American do at this point? He points the gun at the car and starts shooting like a madman.
He hit the back of the truck on the driver's side.
And that's where the police found a bullet.
Well, they found, I guess he left his car there. And the police found the car with 3 shell casings on the ground where he had opened fire on this vehicle. And that's how they tracked him down.
Is that how you win friends and influence people?
Apparently. This guy entered an Alford plea, which is a plea of guilty without making an admission of guilt.
That's
so
right.
how do you enter a plea of guilty without making a...
Oh, it's...
In other words, you're
admitting...
You plead guilty.
Yes.
And you still maintain that you're innocent.
Right. And this man... why would this guy...
I'm guilty, but I didn't do it.
Well, how could this guy make his defense that, hey, look, I was a little ticked off, okay? People weren't stopping to help me. I had a gun in my hand. I thought the thing to do is when people didn't stop, is just shoot them. I just wanted to shoot them.
Stop and help me, or I'm going to blow a hole in your car.
Or I'm going to shoot you. Do you understand?
So people going forward should realize if there's a motorist on the side of the road, you better stop. Because they might just shoot your car.
They're very dishonest people.
That is...
This guy says he pleads guilty, but he's innocent because he was angry that no one stopped to help him. That makes him innocent.
Well, I think it makes... I think he's trying to find an excuse.
The stupidity.
Thanks, Trump.
This reminds me of the day I went to court. I was testifying in a case that I had witnessed a car accident. I'm sitting in court, and the young man is on trial for running from the police. Caused an accident with a police car, wrecked a rental car. Well, he didn't wreck the rental car. They put tack strips down. So he stopped. He didn't want to blow the tires out and have to pay for the tires on the rental car. So he stopped. And his excuse for running from the police was he was afraid the police officer was going to shoot him. And they released him to the custody of his mother.
She's got tremendous hatred.
Because of that fact.
His mother has tremendous hatred.
She's got tremendous hatred.
Is that not crazy?
That is, well, it's worse than crazy. Worse than that. 454-1366, Lee Brothers 820 WNTW. A drugstore in Manhattan, a pharmacy, announced on Monday they will be hitting their mail customers with an extra 7% man tax in the name of equality.
A man tax.
She's a woman, Jolie, the owner of the pharmacy, designed the anti-man scheme as a way to level the playing field for the allegedly victimized women in reference to the well-debunked, as we already know, gender wage gap myth. She also called it the pink tax.
Pink tax.
So that's where we are. Our country is so divided that we now look at everyone so differently. Now they've got a pharmacy wants to have a man tax. Oh, you're a man. It's 7%. More. What?
Do they just not want any male customers, I guess?
You know, if the left had their way, they would divide us by every single possible way.
Height, weight, color, skin,
they'd pick all the
color,
genders.
eyes.
They would divide us by all of our genders. I used to think there was only 2, but they would divide us by all of them, and it's just
There's
crazy.
a lot.
It is. All right, 820theanswer.com takes you to the Explore God video that we shared with you at the 4:30 time slot. Also, the Religion of Peace, Islam. Is it, in fact, a religion of peace? Prager University video there, and the best Disney film of 3 minutes that you'll ever see. It'll make you smile and cry at the same time. Not that we want you to do those things, but it's really heartfelt. It's excellent. Trump would say it's tremendous.
It's
outstanding.
huge. It's huge.
It's unbelievable.
It's tremendous. It's very beautifully done.
Him and his vocabulary is would speak
It's
highly
very
of it.
extremely beautifully done.
All at 820theanswer.com. Also, Facebook at the Lee Brothers fan page. Costumes that are offensive, and we'll share that with you next. University of Florida is offering counseling for students that are troubled by a costume. The insanity.
7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
Of it all. 454-1366. 454-1366. Lee Brothers 820 WNTW.
You may try all you want, but it's too hard to argue with common sense. The Lee Brothers on 820 WNTW.
The stupidity.
Virginia citizens and you think he spit on somebody when he did that?
He could have hit somebody 10 feet away.
The Lee Brothers on 820 WNTW 454-1366. University of Florida is offering counseling for students troubled by the Halloween costumes. Now, you read this and you think, you got to think about you, yourself, your neighbors, people you know. Do you know anyone that is troubled by a Halloween costume? Now, you might say, that's ridiculous, that's over the top, whatever. But are you troubled by it? Are you up at night sleeping? Are you harmed? Are you in pain and suffering?
Do you think there's a political party that wants people to become the type of person that would be troubled by Halloween costumes?
Well, here's another way to word it.
If you are, what party would you belong to?
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's exactly
if you're troubled by a Halloween costume,
who are you going
to vote for? We already know. So we just posted a picture of kids in Halloween costumes on our Facebook page, the Lee Brothers fan page. If you're terrified by this, I don't know what to tell you. You're going to have to find a counselor on your own because
it's simply just
we'll counsel you.
It diagnoses what these Halloween costumes really mean. So University of Florida is taking this seriously. This isn't a joke. This is what your money. By the way, aren't universities universities are supposed to be the smartest among us, right? Aren't they like professors?
This should be a joke.
They're offering counseling to anyone who's offended by a costume. They're urging students. Quote, think about your choice of costumes and themes.
I didn't realize college students went trick-or-treating.
Well, some party or something.
I missed that part. Well, I'm sure it's a party. But, you just envision college students dressed like a rabbit or something with a big orange pumpkin with a black strap, and they're going door to door.
This is what University of Florida said, quote, some Halloween costumes reinforce stereotypes of particular races, genders, cultures, and religions. Yeah, some do. I'm missing the point here. Are you saying that they shouldn't do that? What's a Halloween costume that's not offensive? Can someone give me one that's not somehow, a clown? Clowns now, people are telling you shouldn't dress up as clowns because clowns are now scary to people. What's Halloween? Shouldn't they be scared?
Yeah, Halloween's supposed to be horror-type things. There's a group of folks in New York City that are convinced that they are, in fact, actual vampires. They tried to get a law passed in New York City a few years back. You'll remember this, where if a group of, let's say, normal citizens decided to pick on a group of abnormal citizens who think they're vampires, that would be a hate crime. Not kidding. They tried to get the law passed. So now it was a hate crime for people to beat up a vampire. So would these vampires be troubled by someone wearing a vampire costume? You're making fun of my family of
Why would you be upset? Why would you be upset with that? Why are you upset if someone dresses up as you or whoever you are? Anyway, University of Florida goes on to say, regardless of intent, these costumes can perpetuate negative stereotypes. Here it is, causing harm and offense to a group of people. How? What harm? Tell me the harm. Can you go to court and sue for it? Do you have to spend time in the hospital? Are you bleeding out of an orifice? What's harm?
If you dress up as Superman, you're offending people who don't have superpowers. Pretty much. Is that?
Hang on. I'm pretty sure that even if you dress up as a superhero,
it's going to make you think about things like, well,
I wish I could fly.
Why wasn't I born with superpowers?
But nobody's born.
Maybe I can
That's
fly.
not a very good analogy, actually. No one's born.
That didn't work out so well.
No one's born with superpowers. Though.
No.
So that may not be offensive. Although Superman could be offensive to somebody.
Those folks in New York aren't vampires either.
Good point.
Just saying.
The
University of crimes.
University of Florida goes on to say, keep in mind that social media posts can have a long-term impact on your personal and professional reputation. Well, that's true. That is so true.
So don't go out there and tell people you're a vampire.
Because
you're not.
The counseling center will take care of this if you're offended. The Bias Education Response Team. So there's a team of people, first responders, if you might want to admit this, a response team which provides support to those who are impacted.
Let's think about costumes for a minute. Pick a costume. Any costume could offend a nut job somewhere. A princess costume could offend nut jobs who wish they were princesses.
A Hillary costume offends me.
A Hillary costume would be,
or a contest.
That could cause
that would be bad.
illness. That could cause projectile vomiting, possibly. I don't know. What costume could possibly? I mean, nobody's going to dress up like a Klansman. Nobody's going to wear a pointy white hat and a sheet. No one's going to do that.
And if they did, they would be ostracized. I mean,
oh my gosh,
the culture
they
would not put
probably
up
get
with it. So
pulverized.
It's not a big deal. Okay, no one's going to be harmed
get arrested.
because of it.
Who's going to?
We don't need the bias police to show up and go, "Are you harmed? Show me what hurts. Point to the area that hurts. What? Your head, between your ears, your brain? That hurts. Okay.
It must hurt if you're offended by.
Yeah, exactly. Who are these
Superman
people? Superman
suit or.
How bad must life be for you if you're worried about a costume offending you? Are you going to be able to make it in life? What if your boss says, look, I'm mad at you. You didn't do your work. Are you going to fall into the fetal position and cry like a baby? I mean, what the heck is wrong with you?
Could somebody be offended by someone in a military uniform costume? I suppose if it was a Nazi military uniform costume, maybe they'd be offended. I don't know. But
so the University of Florida said, quote, if you are troubled by an incident that does occur, please know there are many resources available. Please take advantage of our 7-day-a-week presence of the UMatter We Care program at the University of Florida by emailing us at umatter@universityofflorida.edu.
UMatter should be shut down because it's, it could be saying you to someone who's not part of the Black Lives Matter organization. I don't know how they get away with it. How do they get away with that?
If you're troubled by an incident.
What is the bias?
What's an incident? Somebody walking by you in the costume? That's an incident? They walked by me. I was offended by that costume as they walked by me.
It's terrible.
By the way, this is the logical consequence of the left dominating our country.
This
isn't a conservative idea. No conservative would come out and say, this is liberal indoctrination. This is a liberal mindset of destroying common sense in America.
What is that, a biased educational response team? Is that what
that's what it's called? Yes.
BERT. B-E-R-T,
BERT. Short.
And they're standing by, ready to respond. I wonder if they run down the sidewalk like, ho, 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 and doing something like that, all the way to the dorm where the person was offended by the costume. We're here to take care of you now.
BERT. Bias Education Response Team.
But I'll never be a princess. You're right.
What's a counselor say to somebody who's harmed by a costume?
Get a life. That's what they should say.
That's what they should say. By the way, I want to be part of this group.
Yeah, no kidding.
Wouldn't you want to be?
Oh, I want to be part of the Bias Educational Response Team.
What would we say to these people? What the heck's wrong
you're
with
taking
you?
over for the last shift. You guys been busy? Oh, man, you wouldn't believe the costumes we've been responding to.
People are
5 princesses, 2 Supermen, and 1 Nazi. It's unbelievable.
It was
horrid. It was horrid. We even had a couple vampires, but we couldn't catch them. I think they were the real thing. They vanished.
The trauma that must exist on Halloween.
Yeah, Nicky over there got a couple bites on his neck, too. I think those guys
How did
were
we
real.
make it this entire time having Halloween without a bias response team?
I don't know. That could be maybe we've had all kinds of problems we weren't aware of.
Apparently. All right, your phone call's next, 454-1366. We are the Lee Brothers, 820 WNTW.
10 minutes. That's it. 10 minutes and a black Sharpie, budget crisis solved. The Lee Brothers, problem solvers on 820 WNTW.
It's really not hard.
We really could do that.
And we should.
Budget, Sharpie.
Virginia has a budget crisis. We have the answer. 10 minutes, a couple pizzas, and a box full of Sharpies.
Yeah.
Well, Mountain Dew, too. Or a cold beer. A cold adult beverage of our choice, necessarily, but it doesn't have to be. Well, yeah, it does. It'd be a nice beer and a pizza. Maybe some wings. I mean, seriously.
Wings are always good.
If you give us wings, a pizza, we'd do it for free.
Heck yeah.
I'm serious. This is a service we'd like to offer the General Assembly here in the capital of the Commonwealth of Virginia. If you can't do it, T-Mac, I know you're short $186 million in revenue.
We could find that in a matter of hours.
Oh, I mean, so simple.
And then some.
Well, T-Mac had to fire some librarians.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
4
a shame.
librarians.
Darn shame.
I didn't know libraries were still open with the
I didn't either.
out there.
I mean, how bad is the Commonwealth going to suffer now? We've got 15 less librarians than we had a week ago.
I don't know what they're going to do.
I mean, are we going to be okay?
I don't think so.
I mean, it's going to be quite the struggle. I think I'll get through it, but I know there are many that will be hurting because the librarians are not there. But seriously, T-Mac, listen, our services are here. This isn't a joke. That wasn't just a liner to say, but we seriously would love an opportunity to look at a budget with a black Sharpie. And, there'll be people who don't like it.
Give us 2 days. 2 days. Open access, a conference room, 2 days, unlimited supply of pizzas with toppings of our choice.
And a microphone, so we can at least tell people what we're cutting.
Yeah.
Can you believe this is in there? I can't believe that. 454-1366. Call us to see what these people put in the budget. This is...
Oh, we could. It would be so easy.
Well, one of the first things, we could find $100 million right now because it's in this Go Virginia pack.
Exactly.
I mean, there's $100 million right there, T-Mac. We apparently, in Virginia, have 2 new state panels that have come together to spend $100 million of your money. I mean, they care.
And it's your money. It is your money.
It's your money.
They don't. State doesn't have open access to some bank vault where they just go pull it. It comes out of your pay.
The state,
your wallet,
doesn't produce anything.
No, they don't.
Are takers.
They take it from you.
Exactly.
So when they're going to spend $100 million, you should say, what?
Yes.
You should say, I want to know exactly how this money is going to be spent. And there should be, if you want to create a state agency, there should be an agency that's full disclosure type agency that will sit there and take phone calls and tell people exactly where their money's going if they have a question.
Well, this $100 million is going to a group of people, the Virginia Research Investment Committee, the Virginia Growth and Opportunity Board. These are, just normal people like you and me, except that they're major CEOs and risk takers and not risk takers, they're CEOs and they're politicians.
The risk takers with your money.
W. Wynn from Hampton Roads said, quote, we need a laser focus on creating higher payer jobs, period.
W.
How are you going to do that?
That'd be how you're going to
So
do
you can take $100 million and just go give it to a business?
Yeah, I would love to know why they need $100 million. $100 million. When the lottery gets to $100 million, people literally lose their minds. They've got a lottery of $100 million to spend to.
They got a bucket of money
to create higher paying jobs. Government's not creating the jobs. They're not creating the jobs.
Well, I guess if you have $100 million, you can do all kinds of things.
Yeah, you could create jobs. You could hire people to twiddle their thumbs and pay them nicely.
I am amazed by this.
Some are horrible people, horrible human beings. Who cares?
They might be.
You should care.
You should
care about $100 million.
Start caring, doggone it.
The stupidity.
Yeah, we have a budget shortfall, but we've got $100 million to spend to create higher paying private sector jobs. I don't get it. I don't get it. Give us the $100 million. Scott and I will create a tremendous amount of higher paying private sector jobs. Will we not?
Well, we pay ourselves at least.
The first 2 jobs
would be ours.
Or ours.
And we'd be $25 million.
And then we have Spencer to bring on board.
And we'll pay him what? $10 million? Oh, he's worth at least
exactly.
That.
There was
we get 25. He gets 10.
I saw a nice gentleman walking by the station on the last break. Let me go catch him and bring him back. We'll hire him.
We'll give him $1 million.
We'll give him a company car because he's walking.
Well, we got $100 million. We could
buy him
$100
a car.
Million. We'll just buy him a car.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you really think America, the Virginia citizens here in the Commonwealth, do you really think the $100 million is going to be spent wisely, or it will be corporate capitalism or crony capitalism where they spend it on whatever they want to spend it on?
That's what they're going to do.
I wanted to hit a couple of those speakers so hard.
But I decided I would just, grab some women instead.
454-1366. 454-1366. Lee Brothers 820.
Their solutions are so powerful that we should consider allowing a co-presidency. The Lee Brothers on 820 WNTW.
And that's a
Halloween candy wrap, I guess.
A wrap?
It's a Halloween candy wrap. It is for me because I like those little peanut butter bars that they look like they have stripes, and you take them out of the wrapper, and you're like, where'd their stripes go? The wrapper's got the stripes. You know what I'm talking about? Those little bars that you said are disgusting. Those things
are bad.
One of my favorite candies in the world.
That's a wrapper lying to you, make it look like.
Yeah, it really is. It was disappointing back when I was a little child.
Are you offended by that? There's a biased response team.
I went to counseling. I got over it, but It still brings tears to my eyes when I open one to eat, and it dawns on me once again the stripes are gone.
All right, check us out, 820theanswer.com. 3 great videos there that explore God's story. Islam, is it a religion of peace? Trust me, go check that out, 820theanswer.com. Click on the Lee Brothers. Takes you right there and to the greatest Disney film that is worth 3 minutes of your time with your family tonight. Sit there, watch that. A little bit of heartstrings and maybe a tear or two. All at 820theanswer.com. Click on the Lee Brothers.
Thanks for joining us. If you have a business you're building out there, email us at patriots@theleebrothers.com. Patriots@theleebrothers.com. We'll come by and show you how we can help you build your business at a very economical fee. Have a great weekend. Be safe with your commute, and we'll see you next Friday right here on 820 WNTW, The Answer.
My friends, we did it. We weren't just marking time. We made a difference. We made the city stronger. We made the city freer, and we left her in good hands. All in all, not bad. Not bad at all. And so, God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.